Business Meets Cami Knight here in the studio. Great to see you. The US President is lashing out at Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. Tell us why.
That's right. It's not the first time he's criticised him, but it's definitely the first time that he's been so explicit about wanting him to be fired. This just a day after the central bank chief delivered a stark warning about the effects of Trump's tariff policy. In a post on Truth Social, he said that Powell's termination couldn't come fast enough. And when asked about it just over an hour ago, he doubled down on his comment.
You said that the termination of Jerome Powell cannot come fast enough. He says he won't leave, even if you ask him to. Do you believe you have...
If I ask him to, he'll be out of there. But
do you believe you have the power to remove him? And are you trying to do that?
I don't think he's doing the job. He's too late, always too late, a little slow, and I'm not happy with him. I let him know it, and if I want him out, he'll be out of there real fast, believe me.
Now, Trump has repeatedly criticised Powell for not lowering interest rates quickly enough and therefore failing to stimulate the economy. But Powell says the Trump administration has brought fundamental policy changes which make the Fed's job particularly difficult. Take a listen.
Unemployment is likely to go up as the economy slows in all likelihood, and inflation is likely to go up as tariffs find their way, and some part of those tariffs come to be paid by the public. So that's the strong likelihood, and my hope is that we'll get through this and get back. Well, we're always going to be aiming for maximum employment and price stability. That's what we do. I do think we'll be moving away from those goals probably for the balance of this year, and then, or at least not making any progress, and then we'll resume that progress as we can.
You heard it there. The Fed's two main goals are keeping prices stable and supporting full employment, and Trump's wide-ranging tariffs could dampen progress on both those fronts. There's long been speculation that Trump would try to remove Powell from his Fed position, though that would be a significant interference in what has long been an independent institution. Powell has previously said the president did not have the authority to fire him, and Politico is reporting that even Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has repeatedly cautioned White House officials against it, saying it would destabilise financial markets. Powell's term as Fed chair ends in May of 2026. And while the Fed is refusing to cut interest rates, at least for now, the European Central Bank has cut its benchmark rate, bringing it down to 2.25%. At its highs in mid-2023, it had been as high as 4%. The quarter-point cut was in line with expectations and aims to tackle a slowdown in the bloc and the impact from tariffs imposed on all EU imports. Meanwhile, Chinese President Xi Jinping is rounding out his Asian tour with a final visit to Cambodia this Thursday. He's been seeking to bolster regional alliances and trade ties against a backdrop of fracturing commercial networks. Xi previously visited both Vietnam and Malaysia, both of their major trading partners for Beijing, and Cambodia is no different. Luke Traeger has more.
The warmest of welcomes for Xi Jinping on landing in Cambodia, where the king turned out to meet the Chinese president off the plane. Phnom Penh has extremely close relations with Beijing, which is the nation's largest source of investment.
China helped to build bridges and hospitals and helped poor Cambodians. They provided money for us to build our country.
China helped to build streets, bridges, schools and supermarkets. So, as a Cambodian, I am so proud and I am happy to welcome the president.
Cambodia is the third stop on Xi's tour of Southeast Asia. He's been portraying China as a rampart of stability for free trade against the uncertainty that's taken root worldwide in recent weeks due to Washington's use of tariffs against much of the planet. Cambodia faces levies of 49% on its exports, among the highest issued, and partly a result of the US seeking to weed out Chinese exports passing through third nations. While most of the tariffs are currently on hold for 3 months, with only a baseline 10% duty in effect, China's exports are still subject to a full 145%. Against that background, Beijing has found fertile ground with its neighbours for its ideas.
Countries in the global south should unite as one, strengthen multilateral cooperation, jointly oppose unjust external pressure, promote the establishment of a fairer and more just new international order, and safeguard the legitimate rights of all countries to peace and development.
A major exporter of clothing and footwear to the US, Cambodia has written to Washington seeking to negotiate a trade deal and offering to reduce its own tariffs on certain US goods in return.
If you live in the US and you were saving up to buy a Birkin handbag or anything else from Hermès for that matter, you might want to get it done before the 1st of May. That's because Hermès are planning on raising their US prices from then in order to offset the impact of Trump's tariffs. The luxury company hasn't yet said by how much it would hike prices, but handbags start at around $20,000 each and reach well into the six figures, meaning the current 10% tariff on goods from the EU could see a spike of at least $2,000 if they choose to pass on the entire cost of the tariff. Now, analysts have predicted that it's likely the luxury sector will be less impacted by tariffs than other retailers because they can pass on the cost to wealthier clients. But of course, fears of a recession could lead to consumers holding back from splashing out on luxury items. Good news for European consumers, no price hikes for now. So, Mark, you can go all out.
Another Cami Night Business Bulletin in the bag, as we say. Thank you very much indeed, Cami. Cami, back with more business, of course, as we go through the evening. Great to see you.